Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining me for my video today. I am going to show you this double Z fold. Isn't that fun? And then I've got a technique I'm using on our Year of Cheer Designer Series paper, and I'm highlighting the half full stamp set. I love this stamp set. There's so many different possibilities with it. I've got some other cards I'm going to show you too with some different color combinations. So stick around and you'll see how easy this is. You can make some of your own. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do here is bring in my layers of cardstock. So I have got a piece of rich raspberry that is 4 1/4 by 11, another piece that is 8 1/2 by 2 7/8, and then I've got my Year of Cheer Designer Series paper. Now this is specialty paper, and you can see that this is foil lined or embossed. It's got copper and then little silver berries on the ends of these succulent leaves. Very cool. Here's the entire pack. This is a specialty paper. It's found on page 37 in the Holiday Mini Catalog, and a lot of people have overlooked it. As I know when I've shown it before, they've been like, where is that? You get, whoops, I had to cut this one off to use it. That's funny. Sometimes we have to do that. But you get, I think, 4 sheets of each in this pack. So it's really, really cool paper. This piece of the Year of Cheer is 5 1/4 by 4, and then I've got 2 pieces, 2 1/2 by 4, so we need 2 of those, and a scrap of our Whisper White. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat here and do our stamping first for these layers. I'm using Memento black ink for the images that I'm going to color in. And then I've got my rich raspberry for my words. This half full stamp set is so fun. It's got some Christmas greetings in here, and I showed you another fun fold with this stamp set that used the greeting that says, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, but if the white runs out, I'll drink red. Kind of a cute little play on words there. Some beautiful images here. I'm going to ink up my words in the rich raspberry, and I'm just going to stamp that on my scrap here. And then I'm going to come in with my row of wine glasses. I'm using Memento black so that I can color this in with my Stampin' Blends. That's the ink that you need to use with the Stampin' Blends. So the next thing I'm going to do, I've got my Stitched Shapes framelits here, and I am going to die cut this in the Big Shot. And then I'm also going to die cut 2 more squares, so we have a total of 3 of them here, and stamp those up after I get them die cut. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I've got our 3 squares here. Now sometimes in these stitched shapes, because they're so intricate around the edges with those little stitches, I'm just kind of pushing my fingers in here to make that let loose on the edges. It is a tight fit. Okay, now it's letting loose here. There we go. Next I'm going to bring in my rich raspberry light Stampin' Blend. This was the easiest way to color this. You don't get any scribble marks with these, and that's why I love them. You can find all the Stampin' Blends on my blog, which the address is right here. And in every blog post that I have a link right to the brochure that tells you all about these. Oops, I got a little bit carried away there. And that's why we have a color lifter to lift that color off of there. So if you make a mistake like that, you can kind of erase it. There's a bonus, right? Okay, so I've got that one done. Now I'm going to come in here with the other glass of wine and the little greeting that's on the inside. By the way, if you can't read this, I don't know if you can see that, the best wines are the ones we drink with friends. And then I have the next greeting says, may your glass always be half full. And I'm again going to use rich razzleberry, and I am going to stamp that right down here. And then I'm going to use black Memento ink for my wine glass because, again, I'm going to color that in with my Stampin' Blends. And here we go. And again, the thing I love about these is I don't have those markers, scribble marks all over the place. Alcohol markers are the bomb. Last but not least, I've got the Happy Birthday from the Better Together stamp set. This has 2 cases. There's a ton of words in here, and you've seen me use this before because it's fabulous for all kinds of greetings. And I just needed a happy birthday, so I took the happy birthday out of there to use with my card. There we go. Cute, right? Okay, let's get these inks closed up so we don't have any accidents, because you know how prone I am to the accidents. And next I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to score our pieces. So the 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece needs to be scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And then we're going to take the other layer that's 8 1/2 by 2 7/8, and we're going to score that at 2 7/8. And then again, just a smidge under 5 3/4. So just a tiny little bit under 5 3/4. And then I wanted to kind of explain about my dimensions. So I came up with the idea that I wanted to do a double Z fold card today. So I got out my stitched framelit square and I measured that to see how big I would need to make this layer. This layer is going to be the same no matter what, but whatever image you're going to put on the layer that's on the inside here, you can make that kind of whatever size you need. So I took this and measured it. Then I wanted to score this to make sure there was a border left around my square once I get it on here. And so then I decided I needed to score at 2 7/8, and then another 2 7/8 would be 5 3/4. With the folds, they take up a little bit of space too, so I needed just a little bit less than 5 3/4 there. And I found that out because the first one I made, the margins on this inside piece weren't exactly right, so I just adjusted it. That's just an easy way for you to figure out if your square is a different size from mine. You can easily figure out how big this piece needs to be, and of course it's going to be square, so whatever this is, and again 2 1/2, so then you're going to go with a square, 2 3/4, 2 7/8, 2 7/8. But anyways, I hope that didn't confuse you. I just wanted you to know that if you don't happen to have this size, you can adjust this to any size that you need. It just has to be 3 square panels. All right, let's keep going here. You want to make sure that you give this a good burnish on your score lines, because we want our card to lay flat, kind of, when we're done. And then you're just going to fold this in a Z pattern, just like that. And again, I'm just going to burnish this really good with my bone folder. I see that my scoring wasn't perfect, so I'm kind of forcing it to be straight. And that's okay, you can do that too. All right, then here's a little technique that I wanted to show you. So anytime you have these foil images, they're a resist material, okay? So the neat thing that we could do with them is we can make them any color we want them to be. Where did my sponge go? Has anybody seen my sponge? Here we go. I found it. Don't worry. We're back in business. But I'm going to just get some ink on my sponge here, and I'm going to sponge color on to my Year of Cheer Designer Series paper. And depending on how dark you want this to be is how much you're going to continue to sponge it. You could make it super light, or you can keep adding color and make it a deeper hue. Isn't that pretty? You can do this with any papers that have this foil images like this on it, or just embossed images. So I just love that because I've taken my layer from this to this, and isn't it startling? It's like, whoo, love it. Okay, I'm going to continue to sponge the color on my other two pieces here. So what can I talk to you about? Oh, tonight my husband and I are going to go drive around and look at Christmas lights. We love to do that every year. We have some people that put on some really spectacular displays. So that's like one of our Christmas traditions. And it's always been a really fun one. I'll make some hot chocolate and we'll just go driving around. We usually do it with the kids, but you know, the kids are gone now and they're busy. And my daughter Haley has her first student teaching assignment coming up shortly. She is kind of done with college. She has 1 semester of student teaching. So she's like not taking classes, but she's going to be teaching in the classroom. And I'm super excited for her. She got 4th grade at a school in a nearby town. That's convenient for her. And then she's going to be teaching 8th grade in a middle school in the same town. And I'm really happy that they gave her those ages, because so far she's only dealt with really little kids. So I think that'll be good for her. She'll figure out where she wants to teach, like what age level. Okay, you guys, isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I just love it. All right, let's get this put together. Here is my glue. So this is really, really easy. All these panels just get put together here. I'm just using my liquid glue. You can use your tape runners or whatever you choose for your adhesive. The other thing too, I noticed when I made my first one of these, when I was doing a test run, I only put a panel on here and here, and then I felt like it looked too blank here, so I thought, hey, I've got lots of this paper. I'm going to add another panel here and make it really look complete. And I think it did the trick. So there you go. We're just going to glue those all in place. Now we're going to take this piece and glue our stamped images on. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the sample that I showed you, because you might be noticing now it's a little bit different. So I've got several different options for you, and you can pick which one you like the best. And then you better show me, you better email me when you make something with this design. I want to see what you're making. That's what we do, right? As stampers, we share. I share all kinds of stuff with you. I want you to be sharing stuff with me too. I want to see what you're making. Okay, so here we go. And this just pretty much goes together like this. And here's how I found it to be the easiest way to do. I'm going to fold this right up. I am going to add some glue to the back panel while it's all folded up. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to center it on this piece right here. So I'm just going to put it right in the middle, center it as best I can. And then you close this part and it goes like that. Did you see that now? Close this, open up this top one, close that, and we're going to put some adhesive right behind here. So you just want to put some adhesive on this, like a little, like the third of it. Don't go halfway, because then you might get glue that's going to spill over there. This is that easy. It's like, wow, it's so easy, right? Ah! And the angels sing from the heavens. Love it. Okay, one other thing I wanted to do is we've got this copper trim, and I figured since we're using the copper designer series paper, I would put a little copper bow on here. And you guys have seen me use my bow jig before. You just wrap it around and then you take one under, up, over, and tie in a single knot. I love this thing. Anybody can make one of these. You're just going to drill holes in a piece of wood. And that's how you make a bow jig. Okay, and the cool thing about the copper trim is it's almost like well, it's not almost like, it's a mesh. It's a mesh type of material. And you can take it and you can pull it apart and you can form it. Like you can manipulate it to make it stay this way, that way, the other way. See what I'm talking about? Isn't that just cool? I've shown you guys this stuff before. One of the neatest things I've seen it used on is there's a mermaid set. And they put this on the front of the card under, kind of sticking out from under the mermaid, and it looks like netting, like sea netting, like you would, you know, catch fish in if you were a ocean fisherman. What do they call that show? Crab fishing on the Bering Sea. Gosh, I used to watch that all the time. What is that called? I can't remember. Isn't that terrible? That's what happens when you get old. You can't remember jack. And that's just something I have to deal with. Okay, I'm going to take a mini glue dot. I'm going to squiggle that up just a little bit. I'm going to set it right here in the corner. And I'm going to put my little bow on there. And see, you can kind of manipulate it to make it go. Manipulate it. Did I say that right? To make it go whichever way you want. Isn't that pretty? Ah, ta-da! Love it. You saw how easy that was. Okay, let me show you some other things here. So this particular card, I used Elegant Eggplant as my base, and I used Rich Razzleberry as the base on the inside part here. Okay, and I sponged both colors, the Rich Razzleberry and the Elegant Eggplant. I sponged all over my Year of Cheer layer, so that's just a little bit different. Which way do you guys like it best? I don't know, I think this is just really fun looking. This would be beautiful for New Year's cards too, to add a splash of color like that. Then I have one more to show you. This one doesn't use any sponging on it. I tied my ribbon over here, and I used Elegant Eggplant with the Year of Cheer copper patterned paper. What do you think? Which one? Can you guys see all of these? I think it's kind of hard to see all of them. I think all of them are really pretty. I still think this is my favorite. This was the first one that I made. Okay, you guys. Thank you again for joining me for this video. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. You can hop on over to my blog. You'll find an online ordering button in there. You can order all the supplies that I've shown you here. I know that at the end of December, this Designer Series paper is in our holiday mini catalog, and you will not be able to order it after January 2nd, I think is the last day, or while supplies last. So if you'd like to get a pack of this paper, hop on over to my blog. I'll put the item number up on the screen for you. And also the half full stamp set. Where did that go? This is an awesome stamp set. This will continue to be available after January 2nd. This is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set. It was designed by Linda Baldwin. She's a friend of mine, and she did a fabulous job on this. That Stampin' Up! Lets you design your own stamp set when you hit $1 million. So can't wait to do that. Maybe you guys can help me along. I'm just kidding. You do what you need to do. But I do appreciate your orders as always. I'm wishing you guys a fabulous Christmas. I hope you're blessed with family and friends. Well, if that's what you would like. Some people don't like their family. But I hope you're blessed with a wonderful Christmas season. And you get to eat lots of good food and enjoy the holidays. Thanks again. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.